Well, yeah. I mean, a lot of the stores, like for example, the independent stores,
Yeah.
a lot of people break in these stores and saying, well, they got insurance, whatever.
Right.
But for example, there's a local store in LA, a sneaker shop called Riff LA. And they broke down on Twitter how they've had break-ins before.
Right.
And the insurance company will give them 20% of what they've lost. And it'll take about 6 months for them to get it. So imagine that. You have $1 million loss,
Mhm.
you get 200,000, you're out of business.
Yeah, that don't cover it. Yeah.
So as people are breaking into these independent small mom and pop stores, realize what's going to happen is those stores are never going to come back.
Mm-hmm.
And the corporations are going to get that property on pennies on the dollar. They're going to come in and set up shop. Yeah. They all have higher end insurance.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely, absolutely.
So a lot of these stores that people love that are owned by a family that have been there for 50 years, that these restaurants you love to eat at, these local shops that you love to visit.
Right.
A lot of them are just going to go away. They're not going to come back.
Yeah. That's one thing people have to live with after, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think, I know this thing happened kind of sporadically or whatever. And, I understand it happened in Minneapolis where, he lost his life and things like that. But everywhere else, that's what I don't really understand. Why are you looting those places? Like, they didn't do it over there. You know what I mean? Like, the thing didn't happen there. So, but people have to live with that after, you know what I mean? And they just have to know that there is an aftermath to all of this too. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then I actually heard about people talking about the cameras, the surveillance, it's surveillance everywhere on the streets, everywhere. So they're even talking about, a lot of people probably gonna get put in jail after all this stuff is over with too, because of that.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. Not only are people going to get captured on camera,
yeah,
but one person's going to get arrested and they're going to tell on all their friends.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
A lot of these people aren't like real criminals.
Exactly.
With codes and everything. Oh,
they don't have no code.
I'll take 5 years. I ain't going to tell nobody. They'll say, look, we see you here. We've identified you, and they've identified people that have started riots and everything else like that.
Right.
And these people are facing serious felony charges.
Right.
They're going to catch one person and say, okay, cool, you're facing 10 years.
Right.
But we see you here in this video with 5 other people, and you guys seem to really be cool with each other. Tell us these other 5 names. We'll give you 6 months.
Yeah. Sad.
Next thing you know,
I just hope it was worth it, man. I think you shouldn't do anything that you don't know, exactly what you're doing. You know what I mean? Like, and I think, like I said, people just saw an opportunity and they just jumped in this thing. You know what I mean? But the aftermath is going to be interesting to see. For sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you also take the coronavirus situation, which is still there. So a lot of people are going to end up getting sick.
So you think, do you think though? Because it's, you don't even hear nothing about that, like, no more.
Well, things are starting to ease up a bit, but I'm not going and going into large crowds myself.
Yeah,
I'm still wearing my mask. I'm still social distancing. If I do interviews, it's either remote, like we're doing now, or in my LA studio, which is it's a big studio. There's lots of room between us. I'm not messing around. I mean, I knew Fred the Godson.
Right.
Like,
right.
I've interviewed him. We've run into each other at clubs. We have pictures together. Like, we catch up when we see each other.
But do you think that's what he died from, though?
He's dead. I mean,
I know, but I'm saying, do you think he died from that specifically? Because they've been lying about that too, as we know, as nurses have been coming out saying that they're telling them to put everything down that people are falling ill from as coronavirus. You know what I mean? There's discrepancy there too. You know what I mean? It's too much discrepancy with a lot of this stuff, man. And it's hard to know what's real and what's not. You know what I'm saying?
Well, there is discrepancies, but for example, someone who we've interviewed a couple of times on Vlad TV, this guy, Dr. Cahn, who's a doctor in Vegas where you're at right now.
Mm-hmm.
He works in the hospital treating coronavirus patients in Vegas. And he said there was absolutely a much bigger number of people that suddenly came in, and a certain number of those people ended up in ICU and never made it out. It's one of those things that, no, it doesn't kill everybody, but for certain people, if it gets into your lungs and you have to go into ICU, I think he said something like between 50 to 70% of people don't make it out. So it's a very serious situation if it really hits you. And I'm personally not taking any chances.
Yeah, I wouldn't either, you know, because you don't know what to believe. But I just think they're hyping a lot of it. You know what I'm saying? I really do.